bunch of dope on this foam wing, even though it's not ready. I haven't finished the front section, but I can do that after it's dope. Got to make use of the time. And I want to start my next year's airplane. So I'll come over to get some motor mounts and get them drilled and to get it laid out. So first thing we're going to do is put some dope on this thing. This is some of the leftover stuff from the last airplane. Pretty thin, but should be all right for a first coat. Get the wood starting to harden up. Let me get this other thing going here.
Sort of confuses me. If Orestes lost the cow,
he wasn't flying when it, I guess. I don't know. If he was, then that was an unofficial flight.
it was a GQ.
Yeah. I don't know. Wasn't there. This dope may be too thin.
There's one there, it'll serve its purpose to raise the grain. Add some dope to it if you think it won't hurt nothing.
Start using that gallon of cig dope. Look at the hairs coming out of this brush.
Or any kind of that tinted shit. Especially using that tinted white stuff.
Yeah, I don't have none made up.
You mix them up.
Yeah, I guess we could mix them up. Get the hairs out of this thing. Okay. This is thinner. Base white thinned.
So you already got to start.
Yeah. So we're gonna take this base white and put it on. I guess I put this on straight. What do you think?
Just pour it in a jar. And a little bit of regular clear to it, unthinned. And shake it up and see what you got. Yeah. it's all good stuff. I mean, it ain't gonna hurt anything. It's just
Right.
It's not a really sort of a scientific thing that we're doing anyway. We're putting about 2 spoons of white in it and about this and unlimited amounts of thinner.
Well, this is insignia white. Where I thought we had a gallon of clear here.
One of them is clear.
No, this is white, insignia white, and this is gray. much gray in the bottom of it. Yeah, use this Rodak clear. Uh-oh, this clear is no good. I can feel it.
Did it turn into chunk?
It's hard on the bottom.
I bet you'll never mix that up.
No.
I had a Burdak do that to me too, wasted a whole shit pot full of it.
We can look in there, but I got a feeling it's destroyed.
It turns the rubber.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it looks like I need to order some more paint. I don't know when I'm going home again. Save on shipping. I should have got some other way. Is that 100% yours or is part of that mine?
This is mine. This is the yellow stuff.
Right, but I thought I had some of that too here. Huh?
I don't know if you ever had any of this stuff here.
Oh yeah. Several gallons. That should be, one more should be good. You think?
Yeah. Shake it up and see what you got.
$14 and 1. You guys hit that like button. There'd be 14 thumbs up there. I got the thinner. I got a gallon of thinner here. I should probably put that all in one can. Yep, I'll order another gallon. Got that Japanese tissue on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it again. Well, the hair is just coming out of my brush. That's what I wanted to do. I want to get this going. I can see the chat. No, that isn't it. YouTube.
Yeah, I need a fan out here. I don't have one.
So we got, let's see, Eric Cohen. Good morning, Sparky. I've been watching your Magnum build here and there. I'm also building a Magnum. It's also getting there. What engine are you using in yours? I'm going to use a Stalker 61. Super Tiger 60 on this one.
No big deal.
And then they say, I open a jar here so you could get the full experience. Let's see, yeah. Well, if you got any Aerogloss, make sure to open that up. That'll give you the experience of yesteryear.
Yeah. Even though you can't use it.
Instead of this weak, weenie dope we got now. That hair will knock off.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yep. Brush hasn't been used in a couple of years.
I don't know if you say anything about it, but that dip's got about 2 tablespoons of white in it.
Yeah.
Outside of it, that is just clear, thin. And it doesn't look like much going on there right now, but by the time you get 3 coats on there, you're going to start seeing white.
By the time you're ready to start painting, it'll be white. Of course, the airplane's not going to be white, but I was going to do it exactly like the box, but I don't think so.
Sky blue and white.
Well, it's going to be sky blue. It's going to be red, white, and blue, but I think I'm going to steal part of Derek Barry's paint job. It'll be blue on the front and dark blue on the back with red accents and white in between. I'm building this to fly N30, but just remember this airplane is capable of Pampa. So might as well do a good job in case I gotta fly it in Pampa. Boy, Yogi, you really like my work.
Hello, Jim. Thank you.
Jim Lynch.
Feels nice to be back home. After the carnage on Friday and the carnage on Saturday.
I'm a winner. I got my airplane home.
I guess something was telling me, bad engine runs. Should have been Moon's thing too. He should have just.
Who?
Steve Moon. Had all them engine run problems.
Yeah, I was telling him, take me home.
Who else did? Somebody else was having. A couple other guys were having engine run problems. Couldn't figure them out.
Well, if you'd have gone electric, you wouldn't have problem, right, Paul?
Yeah. You didn't build your flaps up like it does in the kit.
Yeah, I know. I could do it like you did, and have heavier than light wood.
I did. I tried them on one of my Magnums, the build-up ones.
Yeah.
And they were too flexy for my likings, so I made a different set with sheeting on it and had them on.
Well, these are overweight. These flaps are 3/4 of an ounce, but because I didn't have super good wood. You answer my next question about paint scheme. I'm painting mine the same as the box pick to tribute to the original, but I will add some detail to give you some wow factor. Well, mine's going to be the same color as the box, but it's not going to be the same layout. As soon as I get my 23 airplane underway, Mike Pratt's going to send me plans for his Magnum 2, and we'll get that underway as well. I don't know why it's not classic legal, I don't think.
Probably not.
Or N30. I'll have to ask him.
Yeah, but it might be a PA plane.
Yeah. We could do that.
I mean, like you said, this plane might be N30 legal, but it's more than capable in Pampa. So is Shark 45. Shark 45 was way ahead of its time. Can you recommend us all for cutting out parts, ribs,
Ribs?
and formers?
Well, any crosscut, I recommend that Japanese back saw that John turned me on to. That's a great saw.
It's great for crosscuts. It's the finest blade, sort of Japanese style pull saw that I've found. It's cheap, works real good, but for cutting out formers and stuff like that, you're normally just using balsa wood, and unless it's a plywood former up around the engine mount, and then I just use a little scroll saw
Or table jigsaw. Okay.
When I set my shop up, you can look around at garage sales and stuff too, because normally you can find these tools. You can find little benchtop band saws and benchtop scroll saws and stuff like that for $20. And even if you buy them brand new, well, before COVID,
Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Craig. Craig must have got one. He says it is a great saw.
They were $100 or less.
For what?
For a little scroll saw. You don't have to get
Snap-on.
super high quality equipment, you know.
Don't have to have a big shop to work in either.
If you can buy a Craftsman or used Craftsman or anything like that, they can be tuned in pretty good. Using good blades makes a big difference in cheap equipment. My bandsaw turned into an animal, and it's a cheap $100 tabletop bandsaw, but I put a good blade in it, and man, it made what a difference did it make. Rather than super cheap blades, go to a machine supply house and buy a quality bandsaw blade and put it in it, and you won't regret it.
Micro saws are mega bucks, Mike, as the king said.
I bought one of them little 6-inch Harbor Freight table saw things. They're trash. They're junk. Don't buy one. If you want to buy a little table saw, go to a pawn shop and look around at the pawn shop. You'll find Dremel table saws. They're a pawn shop down the road from me had 5 the last time I was down there.
Where's that at?
Down on 3rd Street by that Mexican or the Aztec restaurant.
I'll have to stop in there and look. I'll buy another one. I love them saws.
They wouldn't talk on the price of them, so I didn't buy one when I was down there.
Well, if the price is too much, they'll be eating it.
Well, they've been, I think they've probably been sitting there for a while. They don't care, you see. Yeah, micro saws are expensive. There's a lot of other ones online. Just go online and search for, benchtop table saws, and there's some that are just as good as Micro Mark and are better, maybe even for less. And Proxons, I think that's what Micro Mark sells, is Proxon or something like that.
So here I'm finishing this airplane. This airplane is 1 month old. All the parts are made. I only worked an hour or so per day. Sometimes 2. So that tells you that you too can build an airplane rapidly. Two coats of dope, and put this one on. We'll go downstairs and work on the correction and come back up after. Put another coat on before I leave, so I can get that wafting in the car. What the hell's going on in here?
Yeah, it'll smell real good. If you ever got pulled over, you say you're making meth in your car or something. Of course, they don't know.
And they say, well, what is it? Dope.
As far as the name of a scroll saw blade, I can't tell you right offhand. I go to the woodcrafter shops or something like that and look through their saw blades. It depends on whether or not you're using a blade tied saw blade, which doesn't have little pins in the ends, or you're using a pin type. They even make a scroll saw blade that'll cut any direction. The saw teeth actually go in a spiral around the blade shank. And you can start forward, move sideways, move backwards, all that stuff with one blade. It's pretty nifty. They work pretty good, but the thing about a scroll saw is put a zero kerf insert in the table.
hold that on
and
the
you
edge,
won't
would
get
you?
as much tear out on the back side. Yeah, use a fine blade. Heavier blade for plywood.
Use your teeth.
I'd say find one that has a blade that you can remove without adjusting the nut at the back side of the scroll saw. Find one with a little lever at the front by the blade that you can just flip up, change the blade, flip back down, and you're redone. If you can find one, they're probably about $150.
Yeah, the Super Tiger 46 will work perfectly. I have 46s. I have a GMA 46. Now I have a Brian Gardner 46 liner. Not that I don't like them. It's just that they're not big enough for what I fly. But in my classic Continental, the small airplane is a Super Tiger 46. I've used them a lot for years and years and years. Let's flip it around and do the other side. The fuel that you want to run is Sig Champion 10-10-10. That's 10% caster, 10% synthetic, 10% nitro. And the prop that you want to run is 11.6 or 11.5, depending on your airplane.
You can't go down and run high RPM for 46s. They won't turn the RPM. So you gotta stay with a 5 or a 6 or 5.5 pitch prop.
It's a good motor.
They're sweet.
Yeah.
They just don't have the power of modern day stuff.
Right. Mike Platt wanted me to put the 46 in this, but John talked me out of it. I probably wouldn't have been happy.
No, I think it's too much airplane for a 46. This is a deceptively large airplane.
Well, originally it was 60. It's now 59. But 700 squares, I mean.
Yeah, it's like I said, it looks small because it's sort of a thin airfoil and the fuselage is sort of little, and so it just looks small. But you set it down next to any other airplane out there on the flying line, and you'll see how big it is when you go putting it in your car. I had a Super Tiger 46 in Cardinal Evolution, which is a 40 size airplane, and it was 51 ounces or something like that, and I wasn't happy with the 46 in it. I probably could have gotten by with it, but
It'll pull it. It just won't pull it with authority.
yeah, I got a Tim Taylor sort of mentality. More power.
Yeah. I had a gallon of non-toning clear over there. Is it over here now? The crystal clear? There's no, it's not up here. Wait a minute. Insignia white. That's the gray. Yeah, there's no clear up here on that shelf.
I had a gallon or two.
Now we split a gallon.
This might be it. Non-topping clear.
Okay.
About 5/8 of a gallon. Right there.
Okay.
That's why I said something when you were over there. You were gonna stop at Wicks. That would be this and thinner. We got plenty of this topping stuff. 'Cause I think I got a gallon, maybe 2 gallons downstairs.
Okay.
Pain in the butt to bend them horns, isn't it?
Yeah, on the TV.
When they're music wire.
Yeah, on the TV.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't yank that whole table out and around there trying to do that.
That's pretty free, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. All right. Just got a $1.19 on eBay. Building a Sig Master. Nice engine. I had some $1.19s. They were good engines. Ran all right.
I guess I need to knock the grain down before I put another coat on.
Yeah, need some fine newspaper.
Any 320 out here?
I don't know. There might be a piece or two.
Here's a piece of 500. Here's a piece of 320. Because I can't dope in that apartment is the reason I'm doing this. You know, I kind of got to do whatever stage I can do when I can do it.
How did I know that was going to happen?
What? The lawnmowers?
Yeah, I cut my grass yesterday. She cut hers the day before I cut mine. Now she's cutting hers again. It's amazing.
That's why I also decided to use a Stalker 61 on my Magnum. Like you said, it's 700 square inch wing. I'd rather have too much power. You won't have too much with a Stalker. It'll be just right.
I think he had a Sato 56 in it at one time, one of the gold ones. Golden black,
Super Tiger
Golden
60,
Knight, Super Tiger 60.
40, 60. He's built a lot of these.
Double Fire 60 Light would be a nice motor for it.
Randy tell you, PA 40 ultralight. Brr.
Maybe set up the right way, but the problem with 40s, running 40s in these big airplanes, is you're running them to their max. You know, you're making them put out as much as they can put out and they wear them out faster. So you put a big motor in it and let it loaf, and you don't wear out as fast.
How much does it weigh? 3 ounces. Dumb question.
I had somebody ask me, how much do your stab and elevators weigh out there at the max? I said 3 ounces.
Well, that's heavy.
Well, that's heavy.
Yeah, show me how to do it lighter.
Yeah, I can't. We built a whole potload of these doggone things, and we can't get under 3 ounces without really good solid wood.
2 3/4 is the lightest I've been able to do.
I mean, I might be able to get there if it was all built up like the flaps on this Magnum would be, you know, with no sheeting. Then you got a twist problem and a flex problem and a finishing problem and a you know, it's built up like an open bay wing. I don't know, you want your stab stiff. You want that not flexy back there. one of the guys was flying out there at Nats, and Dennis had messing to me, and Chris Cox and Paul Walker and a bunch of guys were sitting under the tent, and Dennis is going, "Look at that guy's airplane's wings flex."
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty windy out there, but I don't think it was windy as the year before. But when you're seeing main wings flexing, there's a problem. It's only going to flex so many times and so long, and then something's going to give.
Well, Joe Gilbert's airplane was long in the tooth. Had to be 8 years old, maybe a lot more.
Lots and lots of flights on it.
It just gave out at the wrong time.
Yeah. You take that airplane, had there not been but 5 mile an hour winds, it'd probably still be in one piece.
Pretty light, eh?
That's not too faithful.
Pretty light.
That's 5 pound wood, probably.
Yeah, it is. I didn't have any 3-pound wood.
How much did they lose after shaping them?
They lose about 25% when you do it this way. But the nice thing about doing it my way is they don't work, or less likely to work.
Yeah, they would maintain some of the thickness of the wood. Sort of an airfoil sort of shape.
They don't lose as much as you think they're going to lose.
No, none of the stuff does. You know, you think you could sand off a half an ounce of weight off a whole wing and fuselage, whole airplane, nah, an eighth maybe.
You better have built it right, light the first time. You see, it stayed straight.
Same way with finish. You know, you think you're going to sand weight off of a finish, you don't sand weight off the finish.
You can if it's your thing.
Yeah, right. I hear you.
If you sand it all off.
This is just clear, thin, tinted, thin dope. No sanding. This is the sanding sealer.
Yeah. We no longer use primer. I'd love to prime, but it's too heavy. You know what's really funny is Ron O'Toole, 20 years ago, told me I'd end up doing just clear dope. He also told me that I would end up not putting paper on anything except the wings.
I can't see that. But
Well, back...
if you use epoxy on it or something, then and seal the grain down.
He just said clear dope.
Well, you put enough coats on it, it'll fill it.
Yeah, till it sits in the sun.
And everything sinks into it, and all that grain comes back up again. It'll even come up if you got paper on it.
Especially on the nose. It'll come through fiberglass.
Yep. It'll show the fiberglass with paper on top of it.
You don't get it done right.
I sanded the nose of one so much that I thought I sanded all the way through the fiberglass and papered over top of it. A year later, you could see the fiberglass flaw through the paper. Just one of them things.
So I got a little bit of hardness on this. I can go ahead and start super filling these ends now before they're covering. And it's not really the correct way to do it, but
That's how I do it. I get all these imperfections before the tissue goes on it. I know you don't like doing it like that, but hasn't bothered me any.
Just knock on the high off of it. We'll go downstairs and work on the next year's airplane. I have some pics from the 1992 Nats at Westover Air Base. Machine Discovery, Heritage, Cauldron. There was a plane there that looked like Bob Hunt's Usama, probably. It probably was there.
Usama, USAAMA. I think he grew to like that, but at first he didn't like that being called that. I don't think he did. But leave it up to the guys. They'll nickname your airplane Banana or whatever. They don't care. Was that Frank McMillan's airplane that was the Cauldron?
Yeah. Which the Nobler is fashioned after. Did you know that? The Cauldron?
Yeah, it was a race plane.
Yeah, that's the Nobler. Of course, the numbers aren't the same as Frank's.
30 style race plane look. Little cockpit.
You know,
fuselage.
Years ago when Billy started doing the Thunderbolt series, and I built a Gloucester. Look that airplane up.
I think I know what you're talking about.
The fuselage on it was the size of a coffee can.
Yeah.
I mean, the big coffee can.
Round.
Yeah. I said, nah, this ain't gonna work. And I quit building it. Can anybody tell me why the airplanes all basically look the same? Like giant Noblers. You know why? I guess not. Because these are purpose built. Why do all sprint cars look the same?
Yeah, and there's just certain numbers that work.
Yeah.
And you work with your numbers and you can make them look a little bit with wingtip shapes and fuselage a little bit and spin and rudder different shapes and
They're all the same airplane.
one's an 1/8 inch thicker wing, a 1/4 inch thicker wing, 1/2 inch thicker wing.
And if you really want to know the truth, all these designs by computer airfoils with the program is the side of your shoe. It's the same shit.
I said that to somebody out there the other day.
Yeah, what they say.
You're kidding.
No.
I said, yeah. Use the toe of your shoe for the front profile of the rib and then take a French curve and fill it into the trailing edge and you're done.
Roll it in half, cut it out, and you got a rib.
I do think that wings that did make a gradual curve to the trailing edge fly better than wings that go flat from the high point of the wing to the trailing edge. And there are some designs out there that are like that.
I think I did pretty good on the cheating on this on my little channel stand.
Too bad the shucks weren't separate. Make it easier. Pretty straight.
Eyeball engineering.
Well, if you ever build a foam wing crooked, you're screwed. You better be building another one. One thing about them is, a foam core wing will last forever down there. A lot longer than a build-up wing. Unless they delaminate.
What do you think? Should I just put another coat on this and then we go downstairs, or should we go downstairs?
It's up to you. It's dry, man. You can see that it's dry, man. What you do, you might get three coats from that if you do it like that. Come back up from the basement, put another coat on, wait 10 minutes, and then you can put it in your car. And you really get a thrill riding home.
Yeah, I like it.
I can see the light on it already. And that's just one coat. It's amazing what that little bit of tint does in there. Doesn't add any weight either, because white's the heaviest paint you can put on an airplane. And white is the best base for damn near every color that you're going to put on an airplane. Doesn't take a lot of paint to cover white in any color, and it'll make the colors brighter.
And whatever you guys do when you're building these wings, do not sand right here. Do not sand right there. You'll end up folding wings. What do I do with the brush?
Glued to the table with the stab.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do another coat. We've been on now 47 minutes. So I got one coat on in 47 minutes, sanded, and I'm gonna go put the second coat on. I'm gonna take a drink of water first.
Right now, he's not shaping anything. He's just taking the raised grain in the wood and knocking it back down flat. Now this next coat he puts on there, he'll raise the grain again. It'll do that 2 or 3 times. Before it'll sort of equalize itself and quit raising the grain it back. Normally the first 2 coats you're starting to see where the grain's not raising. Don't worry about putting it on too thick, just slop it on there.
Slop her on there, globule. I gotta get this out of the way. I don't wanna dope on my iPad.
What is it, about 85 degrees and 100% humidity out right now?
Feels like it. Or 200% humidity and 50 degrees.
Almost 80% humidity according to this little thing on the wall. I don't know how accurate it is, but...
Fortunately, you don't care about blushing. Of course, this has retarder in it too.
Yeah. Don't know what the scribe is, but I sort of remember it. Chip Hyde's pattern plane.
Chip Hyde, isn't he an RC guy?
Yeah, RC pattern. #1 contender. I had a friend of mine by the name of Chip Combs that flew pattern with Hyde and all those guys.
Well, the next goal is to win the Nats. I wonder how long that'll take.
Took megabucks. Now they got all them biplanes and all that stuff they're flying in pattern. I sort of like the looks of them, but they got too big of a fuselage. Like the rakish look of the wings. Use that rakish look on the stunt plane and then scale down the fuselage a little bit so it's not so massive.
Do they have Kenny Stevens' car antenna on them?
No, but some of them's got all sorts of little doodads on them. It's like them indoor foam airplanes that they fly. It's got air brakes and all this crap.
Well, according to the consensus, of all the guys who are flying with rat turds on their airplane, they ain't worth the trouble. Did you get that out of? I asked questions.
Yeah, oh yeah, I ask a lot of questions about rat turds and stuff. Pretty much got the same thing. Well,
I can't tell.
I can't tell, or it does a little. You know, it's a very light thing, and the same with trip tabs and turbulators and all that junk.
If your airplane was 5 ounces lighter, you wouldn't need them. Okay, gotta wait a second and then turn it over. Guess I can do these now.
She's going slow cutting that grass. She should have been done 15 minutes ago.
And they want to run the lawnmower next to the door.
Yeah, that tinted clear thing sort of came because me and Robert were over here. You know, he's got his lightweight finish on a diet and everything, and we're thinking, well, how can we make this lighter even yet? So we're sitting around brainstorming, which we don't have a lot of brain cells left anyway. And we come up with the idea to tint the base on out. Why not? Less paint.
This probably could use a little more white in it.
You can adjust it. You're still not using any white.
No.
You know, you just don't want to put 50% white and 50% clear in it. Just a couple spoonfuls or 3 spoonfuls, tablespoon, not teaspoon.
This was white base thinned with clear, you know, and then we added more clear, so it needs more white in it, but can't hurt it. And it's the old crap dope that we got sitting around. We're not using new stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do with that sig can of dope. I guess
Mix it in somewhere along the line.
no, it's rubber on the bottom.
All that. Listen, I tried to add thinner to that stuff. I tried stirring it up. I did everything. I had it happen with a gallon of Bridak dope and 2 quarts of Bridak dope. It just turned to rubber in a can. It had never been opened from a pack proprietary additive that's put in there that causes that.
And they're crystal clear, turns brown.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually, hell, when you open it, it exposes the air, it oxidizes and turns brown.
We haven't had that problem with Randolph at all.
No.
Any of those problems. Normally it just gets thick and you add more thinner to it and it thins it back out.
Well, remember, I brought over that 50-year-old gallon of clear. And it was like honey.
Yeah.
Added.
Just add thinner to it, but it didn't turn to rubber. That stuff turns solid. I mean, it's solid. I don't know if they're adding a plasticizer to it or something like that, because I don't ever use plasticizer. So if I did, it would only be per batch. I wouldn't mix it in a whole gallon and then leave it sit there. But
1 drop of castor oil per ounce of dope. If you are concerned about, but
you
Randolph,
can get Flexol. I really don't know what Flexol is, but
castor oil,
I've used it in the past and it worked. But like I said, I only used it in each individual batch that I was using. I didn't put it in my whole tank. Same way with thinner. I don't pour thin to clear that I'm using back in the gallon. You know, I just don't do it. It stays separate. Once it's out of that gallon, it's separate. These ball canning jars are pretty good for.
Hurry. The fly trying to come in.
oh, they're back down to a reasonable price again. And Walmart has them.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I just bought some of them little half pint or quarter pint jars.
Yeah.
That was $8 and something for a case of them.
Yeah, $13 a case for the quart jars. They realized, whoop, we're not going to sell them. They get $25 a case.
Well, yeah, people doing canning and stuff like that, they don't want to spend $5 for a jar. Even though they reuse them. I save all my pickle jars, my olive jars,
Hot sauce jar.
pimento jars, any kind of a glass jar with a halfway deep lid on it. I save and I run through the dishwasher. Barb sometimes cleans the label off of them for me. And I use those and I just pitch them when I'm done.
Another nice airplane out of the bathroom. This thing's coming out good. You see any glaring things I need to fix?
I saw some super glue spots on the sheeting in the bottom.
Yeah, no, go away with the.
If they're not, and make sure they're sanded flush.
No, go away.
You know, outside, you know, the tips need a little teeny fill work and stuff, and that's just your typical stuff that I know you're going to do anyway, so it doesn't.
I'm talking about glaring yours.
What's the glare? You know, there's a
Yeah.
spot down here you're going to have to fill
Yeah.
out here on these wingtips. You know, you already know about that. I know you're going to do it.
Got to get the wood hard before I put the super.
If I see anything, I'll tell you. I won't let you go by without fixing something. I mean, we do that anyway. We both look each other's airplanes over real good and say, hey, what are we going to do about that?
Jim Lynch will see that and he'll go, ah, that's the point.
Steve Berry asks, have you decided on your color scheme?
Yep. Blue. Light blue. Red, white, and blue. It'll be monochromatic blue, light blue, dark blue, white, and red. Just like the box, the same colors, different paint scheme. I was gonna do it exactly like the box, but it's kind of plain. And I like, wow.
Yeah, it is a little on the plain side, but that was the going thing at the time.
The decal that comes with it, I'm gonna scan in my computer, cut it on my sign plotter. That reminds me, I need more sign plotting, Mr. Masking stuff. And cut it out, paint it out. Might gold leaf it. Except I gotta get back to St. Louis. I want to do more gold leafing.
Well, that Magnum sign was a sort of faded 2 or 3 different colors in it,
Red, white, and blue. It wasn't
Yeah.
fade, it was,
or had a straight line, whatever on it. I think I still got the decal downstairs for one of mine.
or I could not even worry about scanning it because I know what it looks like. Just get some letters in my plotter that look the same and
Using that, I'm using that one of the old Magnum boxes to store scrap balsa wood in.
yeah, I gotta get that Magnum box out of my apartment. It's taking up too much
They're
room.
huge.
I got no room left. I got no room. I'm building these airplanes in a closet, and I got 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 airplanes in there. This is the 6th. There ain't no room. So every time I go back to St. Louis, I gotta drop one off. I dropped one off and brought one back, so I didn't gain anything.
Ding ding and ding ding.
Except the trophy. That's the one I brought back. I always wanted to show that airplane at the Nats. It never had been. And I took it to Joe Knoll. They were going to have a concourse thing, and when they saw it, they said, well, we're not going to have a concourse thing. So I got screwed there.
That was the same year that guy brought that extra 300 down there.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do the take apart with that tube.
You got the bell crank. And then
So, I mean, that's no big deal to work around.
Well, it's one way. I sort of like the IB main spar type attachment rather than a spar top and bottom in the wing.
But that adds at least 2 ounces. At least.
Well, take apart, yeah. Got a lot of extra plywood and stuff in it. Nuts and bolts.
Okay, we have 2 coats on this thing. We're gonna go downstairs, work on my crutch for my 23 airplane, and come back up and I'll hit it again and I'll head back. I should be out of here by 1 o'clock. I gotta stop at the grocery store, buy a week's worth of groceries. That kills an hour.
Pretty much. Then you gotta go and do their work for them and check yourself out.
Yep. I don't even think they have checkout people there anymore, do they?
No, down here, they only have one line.
When I went to Best Buy and the computers were out and everybody was seized up, how do they operate?
They don't.
A
They're
business.
lost. McDonald's will shut down. I mean, they can't ring up a hamburger. Heck, half the time they got pictures on the cash register of what they're.
Earl Widman used to do business out of his front pocket.
Why couldn't you? I did that at the gas station. Carried about $500 worth of cash in my pocket and had my little change maker hanging on my side.
I remember this.
Press the button, quarters, nickels, dimes, and pennies.
Well, you give that to a kid now. What's this? Duh.
I saw that on. There was a thing on the internet the other day about that. They showed one of them things. So how many people know what this is? This will tell how old you are. I probably had 5 or 6 of those things. Then I had a little money bag for my paper route. Kept my route book and money in the money bag.
I've been at home.
But shoot, back in those days, I not only had a paper route, I cut grass, I cleaned out garages, I washed windows, washed cars, whatever you wanted. We had business cards printed up. You name it, we do it.
That's why when the kids come by my house in St. Louis, pushing the lawnmower, it's a hot day and the grass has already been cut, I'll have them cut it again. He's trying.
He's out working. That's all that matters. He's out trying to do something.
Let's
Not
see.
sitting at home.
Thank you, Steve. Morning. Nice. Well, you did win the concourse trophy. We trust you. Were you there at the Nats, Steve? I don't think so.
Just think, has a little thing. You too could win the Nats, the concourse with enough sanding.
That's right. Okay, so you take this and my laptop, and I'll take the camera. Or you want to take the camera?
I got a suit to hold down there. These I can put in my pocket. Down there. Mr. Jim Lee, thank you very much.
What did he say?
Oh, Jim Lee didn't say anything.
Oh,
I was just thanking him for my purchases that I made over there.
yeah. Boy, it's muggy. Muggy.
He's got some nice products. Let's see what we got. We got this thing.
Yeah. Here, hold on to this. I'll show you how to fold it up. Yeah,
Goes
now
on
move
this. This goes.
Yeah,
up
just lift it up.
here.
Yeah, there you go.
This flips down on top of everything.
Yeah, that's it.
Goes like that.
Down in the basement. We're in the cool anyway. It's muggy out there. Gotta take a minute to unmugify. Ooh, it's nice down there. Okay, we need this plugged into this. Is this plugged in?
Yeah, should be.
Okay. Use this. You know, I hardly drank any soda at the Nats.
It's good.
I got 64 and 6, 36 and 36 is 74. I got 74 Dr. Peppers. And I was going to bring a 36 pack or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead, I brought that water. I drank all the water.
Well, it's better for you than pop.
Okay. That's cool. Whatever. If I Where's my 65? There it is.
I don't know, is that an old K65 or a new K65?
Well, the holes have been drilled out on this baby.
Yeah, mine's like that too. Mine's well, originally it was a new one, then I had to get another one from Randy. When I got it, they were all.
Let's see. Yeah. I don't have the step on the back. Whatever.
This is number 91.
This is 320. That'll be enough, I guess. Not as much as I like, but at least it's something.
That's all I ever caught mine is basically the slop in the holes.
How long is this piece?
13 inches long.
So we're going to have an 8-inch, no more than a 9-inch nose moment, so. That'll be right.
Should be, they're longer than we normally need.
Right.
You cut them down.
Well, I'm going to run an extension on it too, so. We'll just put it all the way to the back.
I think in the end, you only need about 10 inches, so.
And 3/4 will stick out. I probably could sand these, you know, slide angle on them. Okay, let's mark it and drill it, I guess. Do you drill it with the motor in it or not?
Normally I drill one hole, bolt the motor in, and then I drill put another hole in it on the opposite corner,
That's good.
and drill another hole and bolt it in, and then I drill the other two. And that just keeps it locked in place, and the motor's used as a guide.
I got some titanium pads again.
It'd be nice if those were already bolted in.
Yeah, I don't have them here. We'll just have to drill from the backside to drill those in. Yeah, it's a nice shop, Yogi. Yogini or Yogna or whatever that is. I have to put this on. Oh, that metal I brought you is a lot lighter than this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Gonna have to set it on something to build it up 1/4 inch, so.
Then you can't get this up in there all the way.
No. It is down. I put it on a big drill press right there. Doesn't have
Okay. Okay, I'll hold this cock. Let's make sure it's right now.
You wanna cut it that way?
Go ahead.
Remember,
Wait a minute. Down. Okay. Let it rip.
let it rip?
Yep.
Now, I don't have any 440 bolts. Don't have anything. I'm all out of them.
You don't have any 440 bolts?
Well, I got some bolts. I don't have any of the
Lock washer?
insert T-nuts.
No, don't worry about it. We'll just
I'm all out of them.
put it in the located.
You want, I can put a nylon lock nut on the back of it. Want to do that?
We won't need to, I don't believe. Take this prop thingy off here.
It sort of holds it in place for you. I like it. It does move around.
Well, it ain't gonna move around when I'm holding it.
I'd be surprised.
What, you didn't get a Jim Lee 1/4 inch nut driver?
No, I didn't get his nut drivers.
I got 2 of them.
Next time I see him, FCM.
He didn't go to FCM. I've never seen him.
Shot.
Yep. Good. It's cocked as much as it's gonna get.
Good, good.
Got another bolt. We'll just set it in there. You see my new airplane? Can you see it? It's cocked out a little. Hup. What do you think about that?
Damn straight.
Fix it. Must be full.
Okay, take this apart again. Give you back your bolts. I know how you iron your bolts. I got a shit pile of them anyway. And I got to get aluminum on there, or titanium, or whatever, magnesium, or whatever I'm going to use. Well, I could use this muffler thingy, but I'm going to use a pipe. Well, he's got a nice mounting thing on the back.
So they should be.
What do you think? Do they run as good on this muffler?
I have no idea about those. I know they're tunable because you can slide that in and out and tune them. I have no idea where they should be at or anything like that. I heard that anything with O-rings, stay away from.
Yep, my new airplane.
10 or 12,000.
2003. See? Or 23.
I see it.
I see it perfectly.
I mean, pretty soon it's gonna look like this. And it won't be very long.
How much wider is that than this?
It's the same amount.
So this is for 65?
Yeah.
Huh. You got any aluminum pads?
I don't know.
Not like those, because those are been milled on.
I don't care about that. If you got aluminum pads, then I won't have to. I'll give you them. I'll give you enough titanium to do one for you. I can swap. Okay, there's some titanium ones right there. We have
Nothing in here titanium. Those are already in
Those are different width.
These are actually.
Cool. So let's drill, mount these. You got any little screws?
No. I don't have any little wood screws.
Okay, well,
What you need is some. Surveyor screws either.
I don't want to run nothing with a nut on it. Let's, seems that I'm here. And probably should do it on the mill.
Is buy us a box of 1,000 screws.
Figure out what they are and I'll order them. Yeah, these little, these are,
There are bits to get down in there because they want to strip out before you see them.
this is perfect, then I can get this done. So we need a 3/32 drill bit, or this is bigger than 16.
You gotta drill them just barely oversized, because all it is barely holding that pad in there.
Yeah.
Just keep it from falling out.
Right.
So you want to drill them as big as you can, or they'll strip out on you. The heads will strip out on you before you get them tightened down. Let me see one.
But I'm talking about going through here. We want a bigger drill bit.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Through the clearance hole, drill bit.
Should be good. Bigger is better.
That might be one size too small.
You get this MasterCard.
No, I just got that at Ace Hardware or something.
It's a whole lot better than the Harbor Freight ones I got.
Just a 6-inch. Everybody should buy a 6-inch drill bit. They're not that expensive.
Harbor Freight, they were cheap.
They got them in 6, 10, 12.
So this is for a 65 here, this airplane?
Yeah. That's my replacement.
So you got a 10 and a quarter, or 10 and 3/8 nose moment. Well, it would be 10 and a half. Then we get the 1/8 inch ring on it. I want mine. Actually, 10 and a half would probably be about right after you, 10 inch. And they move the motor back 3/4, so that would be 9 1/4. Yeah. 10 inch move back 3/4 of an inch. No problem, Jim. I didn't see that. What brush are you using? I'm using a Shaper's Hobby $3 artist brush, 1 inch wide.
Camel hair,
No.
squirrel hair, whatever it is.
Goat hair. It's cheap.
You buy them from Sig for $5 a piece. They used to. I don't know what you want to do here, but mark this is a drill bit for the screw.
No, I want a clearance hole for this screw.
Well, I understand that, but to get these located right,
You gotta put. We're gonna screw this on,
oh, you're just doing the ends of them. That's right.
turn it over,
That's right.
and drill through the back. We need that one after I get this bolted on.
So,
So I need the clearance hole, which is the smallest one of these. This one or that one.
this one, I think it's the smallest circle. That's the next size bigger than this one.
So what we need to do probably is drill the holes in this first. Can we could do this on the mill, couldn't we, to get it perfect?
Good. Down for clearance.
Okay. You do both at the same time? No, that's too tall. You've got to sit down in there. 3/4. gonna do both at the same time. That way they're exactly the same. Except, if we do it that way, it'll drill into your parallel. So I guess we'll do them one at a time.
Make it do a clean.
No, it won't. See, it doesn't. It's not deep enough. You gotta.
I can make it deep enough. That's not a problem. Parallels.
I got all that spring steel that you want. How much you want? I can fill the basement up with that crap.
That's about all I need right now.
Yeah, but it looks like you're gonna drill into the parallel. Yeah, here's what you can do. You can drill halfway down, mark that other one, then.
Well, if I don't press down on this real hard,
You can see it. There's no clearance. Or you can take. There we go. You're a genius. So we need the bigger one of these two.
it's in there tight enough that it'll clean both pieces and not push the bottom out of the way.
Is that it? Okay.
This is an I
Right there. Right there.
And you can put it wherever on the ends that
Right
you
there.
want it
That's
at.
good. Keep going. That looks about right. Bring it down closer. Close enough. We're not building a rocket ship. You guys make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I can't see how many likes we got. We got a few. We got 13 watchers. 20 likes. There you go. 11 watchers and 20 likes. That's great. No super chat, but it's the end of the month. Okay. Now this is the thread size here, this little bit, right?
Yeah.
Is that gonna even hold it?
Get in there, actually.
We've got to bring the table weight up. Maybe. There we go. Okay, where that be? This socket here.
Big hand clean it there.
Hold on to this. Down.
Little flush to the inside.
Down.
Ready?
The other way. That's good. Push forward. I can tell you why you have a hard time with these screws. This is the wrong screwdriver. So this is a read and print. See how pointy it is? It doesn't quite go down on the. It's got a little flat on it.
The screws are soft and they really, it's not just about easy. It really grabs, that maple really grabs the screw.
The Japanese screws are JAP.
JIS.
Yeah, JAP.
Yeah, but yeah, they're definitely different. And you get the right screwdriver for them, man, it works. I don't have a set of those screwdrivers. I wish I did.
All these are a flank drive. Okay.
So the square up where you can measure it on the end.
down. Down a little bit. Okay, yep. That's good. JIS, not JAP.
So, okay. Push down. Push on that and tip it over.
You know, I bought that little saw, the little table saw,
Yeah.
and it's in my apartment somewhere. I cannot find it.
Let's see, here's another one. One of these is for the SV wing, and one of them's for your wing.
It looks like a guppy.
It'd be fine. And I already got 2 wings built. Got an SV wing, your wing. So there's 2 airplanes in the makings.
We can expect to see those, what, about 2 years?
Next year.
We do have a lot of winter left. I mean, it's just now getting started. Building season.
I normally don't start building season until October.
I started day after the Nats. Danny, if you're watching, get out of that chair and into the garage.
I need to practice, so I need to use all my extra time I got to be out practicing and not be in the shop building. I don't think building time's until snow's starting to fly. Too cold to go fly.
Well, I agree with you to a point. What do you say? You know, I don't know. I just wanted to do this today. I don't want to go flying. We've been out in the field for a week.
It's sort of nasty out there today.
And I gotta do grocery shopping and all that BS. Yogi wishes he had a shop as nice as yours.
Thank you. When I started this shop, it was in a basement room about the size of Sparky's apartment. And I said that I wasn't going to spend over $100 for any piece of equipment that I put in it. And I didn't. All the way up until the time I bought that mill. And I found that mill from a guy for $600. It hadn't been used. It had been sitting in the guy's basement, and it had been through three separate owners, but I knew the guy that originally bought it. And so I got to talk to all 3 owners, and they all bought it and never used it. including the original purchaser, all he ever milled on it was some wood. Never milled a piece of metal on it. And the other guys bought it and it sat in their basements and they never used it. And I bought it, it came with some milling bits and some stuff and the vise for it. It's not the best in the world, but it'll work. It's a milling machine. I got a metal lathe that cost me $100 at a garage sale. I got a little bandsaw that was $100. A jigsaw $100. This sander $120. I think I paid to get this sander. If you get a disc sander, don't buy one of them 6-inch disc sander belt sanders. Just get as big of a disc sander as you can get. You can get a 24-inch disc sander, get one, or a 36-inch, get one.
Here, just want to go back in here. Bed number 50.
Yeah, using that small as an empty hole.
Just an oddball color.
Because I broke the one that came out of it.
Come on, get it.
None of these make that guitar where it tilts out far.
Should go in right there, but it won't. Yeah,
Go out the back.
yep. Now it's way out the back.
Now the other one fell out the back, the one next to it.
Get a mic.
1.
You both of them out?
One's still in there. It's broken, that's why it's short. It's not broken, it's short.
All right in there for you.
You weren't holding your mouth right.
Okay, I need an 1/8 inch or whatever size that was. Is that 8?
That's that 6-inch drill bit, so if you got an 8-inch drill bit, probably got one color from right here.
Or 128.
128, probably.
1/8 inch is 145.
These numbers printed on that thing, if you notice, they don't line up with the drill bits.
Yeah.
So you don't know which side of that number you need to go. And half of those drill bits aren't even marked. You gotta take a set of calipers or something to measure it one of them.
Perfecto. And it's off quite a bit.
Yeah. And then you'll be able to tweak it just a little bit more. You may have to sand on the inside there a little bit or file. Because you got some slop in the hole sizes. You got a lot of slop in the hole sizes.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I mean, this is one I bought from John Saunders. I got a 61 from Jim Lynch that goes in my other airplane. That 65. This will go into the brick house tribute. Yeah, it's got good compression on
Man, I hate when people. I don't like it when Randy drills the double holes. I don't like that. Just drill one set of holes.
I don't think Randy does that. I think it comes from Henry like that. They used to be one hole and then halfway down.
Brand new measure from Randy.
Right? Right?
So it should be. That's exactly.
Is that the one you bought or the one that?
This is the one I bought. Brand new.
You didn't run that one at all?
Well, yeah, I had it in my airplane. Put it running.
Oh, you already took the Venturi out of it.
I put this Venturi in the engine that's in my airplane because these two are a ton bigger. And they got so nice in there. Oh, here they are. Right here. These two Venturis are way bigger.
Look down inside there. It's got a spigot in it.
You can see it sticking out.
Yeah.
These don't. The ones from Randy don't have the sticker, but somebody's messed with these. They drilled them out or something. I don't think these came from Randy this big.
Well, Randy makes them whatever size you want.
Yeah, but if you look down the flat spot in there shouldn't be a flat spot. There should be two kinds that come together perfect. Right on that hole center line, and they don't have that. They've got a flat spot down there.
I see it.
So that tells me they took a stock Venturi and drilled it out. That one you can tell because it's flat all the way up and down through it. See that? Yeah. See, it's flat. They've been drilled out. I don't do that kind of stuff. If I was going to do it, I'd put the tape in there, right?
I don't monkey with these engines. You know, I just, as it comes from Randy, is good enough.
Unless you got an airplane that weighs 80 ounces or something like that, why do you need more power, more than a stock Venturi size?
Well, back when I built my first Thunderbolts, we were running 61s. And Ronald Toole was my coach and helping me. And he helped me through several liners because it was turn the pipe, open the Venturi up, more compression, take the head shims out. And we had that thing jacked. It was spark knocking at the end. It was ridiculous. I just smoked the liners. That's the only time
Run
I
a stock and they'll do nothing to it.
That's the only time I ever worked on my motors because you couldn't send them back to Randy and wait, so I just.
You got more power than you ever needed, just stock. The airplanes were built for 40s. You got a 75, you're putting in there double the Almost double horsepower.
That was the 61 days. I did end up putting a 75 in that airplane, and it made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, how much airplane money?
Close 70. Big, heavy turd. See, in 2004, when I was at the Worlds and I saw Billy's airplane fly, I was impressed. You know, well, I got to build it. So I took all them pictures and took them measurements, and I built them airplanes, not realizing that airplane was 53 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
And I have built 6 or 7 of them. I can't remember how many now. I have to,
In the 70 ounce.
yeah, they're all going to be turds. And they fly all right. They're fun to fly, but man, it's a lot of work.
They'll give you a workout. They'll yank you off your feet.
So that's why I've lost interest in my Thunderbolt hanging on the wall. Because it's going to be up there. It's going to be the lightest one I ever built, but it ain't light
But
enough.
it'll be 66 ounces.
Yeah, it ain't light enough.
Those days are pretty much gone. Finding lightweight balsa wood.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
It might come back around.
Now I got to glue a piece of 3/16 on the top of this. I think I got some good contest stuff.
Don't forget to put your blinds in there. I've done that before.
Oh, yeah, ain't no big deal. You do.
It's nice to have all that wood other than holes and stuff, so that when you start sanding, that you don't get into the blind nuts and all that. Are those good flush? Does that motor sit down in there fine?
Oh, yeah.
All the way?
All right.
Well, if it doesn't, you just chuck it up in that mill and put a milling bit in there and crank somehow on the inside of that aluminum.
No, it's fine. So I got a slot.
It's not set.
You're right. What's the story? Why isn't it set? Oh, there's goobers on there.
There's a cross right there. Box.
I don't want to scratch up my motor, my pads. And where's the X-Acto knife?
That's anodized.
Yeah. That's
So, right, it's actually sort of hard, which I like it. It's sort of hard surface to it.
okay.
They come off.
No, we need a.
There's a counter thing in that drawer right there. I need to buy me a little chuck handle for that. You know, the little wooden handle, and it's got a little chuck on the end of it.
It's a little rough using like this.
There's a,
That's over.
bedroom.
I'm done. There we go. I need to get one. Did John fly at the Nats? No, he did not. And he came home with his airplane, so he's in good shape. Huh? Yeah, use that one. Yeah, that's just down there flashing off.
As long as it does, sometimes it'll hit because there's a radius on that engine casing. And you'll have to take a little bit off the edge of that aluminum.
We can do that.
Now I couldn't get an engine run, a consistent engine run. So can't get a consistent engine run, it's pretty hard to fly, especially in adverse conditions. So it cost me a lot of money to go watch airplanes fly for a week.
Well, could be like Joe Gilbert going home with half an airplane,
Or no airplane, well,
he spent a lot of money and lost a lot of money.
yeah.
Or what was that? Or that pattern master, or you know, them other guys that. I figure you're a winner. You got your airplane home.
Yeah, but I don't have any stats for flying at the Nats, you know. I really wanted to do something, but
You're not flying
You know,
open, so it don't matter.
well, I'm still flying advanced, and all the advanced flyers are expert flyers anyway, so if I can qualify in advance, then I've gauged myself. I did qualify the time before last. But I had a hell of a lot more practice that year too. I mean, it wasn't like this year. I've got 7 flights on my airplane, full tank flights this year. I mean, well, outside of the practice flights, a couple of practice flights, but I'll bet I don't have the 12 flights on total.
We need to go out and on next weekend and just fly.
You know, partial tanks don't get it, and you gotta get an engine not acting up. So it's gonna be partial tanks until they can get something freaking running right. Again.
Yeah, we wear caps inside because we're bald. I'm bald.
Well, he is. I'm not. I don't hardly ever see me without a ball cap on.
Chris Everson says, just finished the first coat on my Viking, waiting for it to dry, then wet sand. Why would you wet sand? So it can't stay long. Whatever, I don't know. First coat, you don't need to wet sand.
First coat of what?
Yeah,
Color pigment? Pigmented paint?
yeah. Where are you at? First coat what? On the wood or on the clear or what?
I don't start wet sanding until you get your first color coat on.
I don't wet sand at all, or
You hardly ever wet sand, period.
right. Oh, I do the top coat when I get to the 1,000, 2,000, you know.
I like to color sand that white. I think that helps. If you use 1,000 grit or something like that, or 1,500 grit wet sand.
Okay. Let's go bear the heat. Take this and that.
What I do.
I'll put another coat on and be gone. I gotta stop and get some groceries.
You guys have any brass at work?
Not that I've seen. Can ask Dave if we got any.
I need something big enough to make some bones out of. Bone holes.
I might have a piece in my toolbox. Piece of bar stock brass.
Inch in diameter.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, we are upstairs, going upstairs again. I don't want to stay as late as my normal time. I didn't get here till an hour late. It's only 12, so we'll be out of here by 1. Okay. So we got 2 coats on this thing now. How come the... Oh, that's an opposite switch, huh? That's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's opposite. It, I think the little old lady, it was easier for that owned this house before us. That did that.
These feel pretty nice. These is 500. What?
I'm just reading until I catch that.
Do I?
There's something you guys wear caps inside.
Yeah.
Just finished my first coat on my biking. Okay, so he's gonna wet sand. The first coat on the biking. What we want to know? First coat of what? I mean, wouldn't be wet sanding this right now because it would just
Make it
still
work.
soak into the wood probably. There's them spots I was talking about. Super glue spots.
That'll be fine. I tried the white glue on it. I don't know how he does it.
Yes, the white glue is not easy thing too. You don't have patience. I did with white glue. I take one side of it, flip it over, bend it a little bit, smooth some white glue down on it, put it back together, make sure everything's flush, and put some weight on it.
I did white glue the tips on. I did white glue the flap stuff on. I like that. It's better.
One thing I found out the hard way is if you white glue this shit and you want to mold it and you want to wet it, if it has a really dry gist, the water will affect the glue joint on it and it'll pop apart on you. Learned that the hard way. Boy, them foam cores make a very nice looking stab, don't they?
Yeah. That's relatively light. I mean, I don't know if I could get any light. I could get it lighter if I had 3 pound wood.
Right.
5 pound wood or not.
We tried them all different ways, build up, geodetic ribs, straight ribs. The only thing I haven't done was build the stab like a open bay main wing with a sheeted leading edge and cap strips and all that crap. I haven't tried that yet.
I did on one of my Vipers. I built a beam wing stab. But it ain't lighter.
They're not lighter. And you can What else have we done? All different weights of wood.
I brought over that one.
I've done them like a nobler where I used a heavy piece of solid wood and cut the center out and put ribs in it. I build up with ribs in it from scratch, not like a one piece of wood, but like a regular full-size wing.
I brought over that one that was an egg crate. You remember that one?
Yeah.
And it was super light, but it was flexible. You know, no good, and would be very hard to finish.
The only way you can make this foam lighter is to use 32nd-inch wood on it.
Yeah, then you better not stand on it.
No, you can't stand on it. You need to take some flat straight edges and go over these leading edges on this.
Yeah.
They're not quite, one's a little bit got a little whoop-de-doo in it. It'll come out, there's plenty of room to get it out
Right there.
Just take a straight edge to it, a straight sanding bar. Couple swipes. I take it that's what you're giving them to me to look for.
Yeah. This is just getting material on
See,
it.
these won't warp until you put covering on them. They'll stay pretty straight as long as you coat them both sides right away. It's only when you start putting that tissue on there. So answer us a question that we asked. What first coat?
He's probably not there. He probably took off.
Christopher Everson. That really raises the grain on that stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. And balancing the prop, where on the prop do you remove materials?
Backside. Some guys add CA.
I CA them because I don't want to take a chance of changing the airfoil shape. So I put a drop of CA about 2 inches on it out from the tip, and then just take my finger and wipe it out towards the tip. Smooth it out and let it dry. Just keep doing that until it starts balancing, unless it's out really bad.
And put it on the disc sander.
First thing you want to do when balancing the prop, when working on the prop, is you want to make up a jig and make sure both blades are of equal length. And the first thing you do is make them both equal length. Then you can start balancing it, and it'll balance one direction, but it'll be ever so slightly out of balance the other direction. Well, normally that's because the hub is heavy on one side than the other. So then you go to the hub and you remove just a little bit on the hub, the heavy side of the hub, or right up close to it, where all your angles start going into the flat where it bolts on, and remove a little bit in there. And don't even ask about a 3-bladed prop, because they can be sort of a nightmare, or a 4-bladed prop. They get even more difficult. You just more time consuming, because then you'll have two prop blades that are a little bit heavier than the third prop blade, and then yeah, and then you start bouncing back and forth between two blades. And
You think it needs another coat on this? I think I can go straight to paper.
no, you need two more coats on it. Two on there now, right? You got to be careful when you're sanding the pilot side of the prop. If you sand too much, you change the pitch.
Then right in the middle, that way you'll under-camber it.
So if you sand it on the front of the prop, the side you stand on when you start your engine, it's just an airfoil shape. It's sort of easier to do and not change the pitch.
I do it at all. I under-camber them. Stand it right in the middle on the back side.
Well, it depends on if you want an undercamber prop or not. They're a flat back prop.
You're not taking that much off to get the balance. What the hell is this? Had a Bougar on it.
Well, when you start talking about front and back of the prop, it depends on who you're talking to. Always consider a prop as you're sitting in the airplane. If you were the pilot of the airplane, the back side of the prop is the prop facing you.
Right, that's where I am. But what do I know? I don't know nothing.
So it's one of those deals, depends on who you're talking to and how they interpret it.
The guy that's the most knowledgeable on props is Bill Warley. So if you see him up there, let's ask him. Tom Warden was big on props too. When he died, I got a whole pile of his props. Nothing that I would run, but I gave Tom Creasy, Tom Warden's chipmunk.
Yeah. If you want to play around with props, get some wood props. Don't get a Zor or something like that, but get a top flight wood prop. And first thing to do would be to clean it all up, because it's a prop kit. And you take the prop and sort of clean up all the hard edges and everything, blend it in, do it as evenly as you can.
Tom Dixon had some BY&O props that I thought were rev up. What he does with them is that he gets the next size bigger, say he needs a 10, so buy an 11 and cut an inch off a BY&O, and it looks pretty good, really. I'm gonna try some of that.
That's not a good example. This is a rev up 12.6.
Don't sand on rev ups.
No, they're pretty good as they are. I mean, what I clean up on the top, like a top flight prop, this one doesn't need really any cleaning up. But there's a little section like right in here that sort of can be a little sharp edge, and I sort of round that off on both sides and sort of blend it into this round circle where that washer will go on there. Then I'll do on the same thing on the back side. I'll take this side and sort of take that sharp edge off that a little bit, just sort of blend it in. And I'll take this little back edge here and sort of blend it in a little bit more than what it is factory. And then set it on your prop balancer. I got one of the little the magnetic kind of balancers. It's on little magnets in it. You can just blow on and it'll spin. And then I'll put a drop of CA about right here. I'll just take my finger and wipe it like that. Might wipe it a couple times just to make sure it's covered. Then let it dry and put it back on the prop balancer. And use another little bit on there. You don't hardly ever look at the back of the prop anyway. You see mainly the front. And then it's still good if you wanted to paint it and everything. You could still paint it, sand it, and paint it and all that stuff. But some guys will take these props and they'll strip them. Take all the finish off of them. And then they'll start from there. I guess if you wanted to paint it to match your airplane, that'd be a good thing to do, because then you're down to bare wood and you know where you're starting at. Well, then you can balance it with your clear. Paint it whatever color you want. Paint it even all the way around, and you got it already. You pitched it, you checked it. Make sure both blades are the same. Make sure they're the same length. Make sure they're the same pitch on both blades. And then paint it. And then when you're putting your clear on, put a coat of clear on the whole thing, let it dry, put it on your balancer. If it's a little heavy on one side, take the light blade and shoot one side of it, maybe with an extra coat of clear. Put it back on your balancer and see what it does. If it's still out of balance, put a coat on the front of it. And you can do that with an airbrush and just ever so lightly coat it. Or maybe even just spray just the tip of it with your clear, and then you can use that clear to balance it out instead of the super glue. But a lot of times I don't paint my props. I just clean them up a little bit and maybe shoot some more clear on them, and that's about it. Although I'm using carbon props for the most part, but I just use the super glue on them. Unless they're really bad out, then I'll sand on them, because you can't put enough super glue on them to balance them.
I think this third coat is gonna shine up. But that's all it's gonna get this week.
Want some potato salad to take home?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Huh? What?
I said you want potato salad to take home.
Sure.
Okay.
I like
It ain't
it.
too much for us, that's for damn sure.
That was nice of her.
This is a 3-blade prop right here.
No slaw, John.
Huh?
No slaw.
No slaw. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
What is she doing?
I don't know what she's doing. Making something to go with sandwiches or something. I think I got this used from somebody, and I don't know why it's so cut off.
That started out of Bali.
This wasn't a Bali. It was a whatchamacallit on your things. And
That wasn't a gator.
Eliminator prop.
No, that's way too thick. That was a Bali.
This is an eliminator prop. I can tell by you can still see some of the.
Oh, from Todd Wilk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wilk prop.
Steve
Eliminator. Steve Wilk, eliminator prop. But somebody buzzed it, so they just cut it down all the same size, and they'll use it on. That's probably a good 40 size prop, maybe. But these props, when you start balancing the 3-bladed prop, you'll get it to where you can get all the blades to sort of stay there, but then they'll still want to go heavy. So what you'll have is you'll have one light blade and you'll have 2 that are just ever so slightly heavier.
So then you got to start working on those two, and you got to make them as light as that one. And then you'll get one, and it'll sit like that. And so then you got to get this one light enough to match those two. And so you sort of fight them as the closer you get to being perfect, where they should all sit anywhere and not move. They shouldn't ever have one heavy. And then sometimes you'll get them where they're close, and same on a two-blade prop, and I said this earlier. You'll get them where they're close, but it just won't quite just sit anywhere. A lot of times it's right here in the hub. So that's when I'll start just grinding a little bit here, whichever is the heavy side. A little bit here and here. And take a little bit off that hub, and then they'll come in. I wish I could balance them like that and tell. But I don't have a balancer that does it like that. But
Lawnmower blade balance.
I guess something like that might work. This works fine. And if you got one of them magnetic balancers, you'll balance one in closer than what you ever really probably needed. Make it to where it'll sit anywhere on there. You can press it and hold it, and it won't move. I think I showed you where I would remove material if needed. Doesn't take a lot of material removal. You won't change, you shouldn't be changing the pitch on the prop by sanding that much. You just take 320 sandpaper, take a couple swipes at it, and put it back on the balancer.
Take 36 grit body grinder and grind the crap out of it.
There you go. Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel in it. Just start lopping off the tip of that blade. No, don't go doing that. Don't do that.
How much time we been on? No, I won't tell you there. You gotta look here. 2 hours, 30 minutes. Wasn't gonna do that long here, but getting quite a bit accomplished, so. Gotta get done what I can get done. We'll better fly this next weekend. If I was in St. Louis, we'd be flying next weekend.
There's no reason why you can't do any of them brush-on coats at home.
Well, the neighbors come out. What's that smell?
You making crack here, dear boy?
I'm gonna take it with me and probably do some. I've done it before. I've also sprayed outside the front of my motel. But whenever I spray or whatever, it seems like the wind wants to blow right towards somebody's window.
Yeah.
What the hell that smell? Just trying to get some material on this right now.
When I buy my carbon props from whoever, Eliminator Props or Randy or whatever, I typically tell them to go ahead and do it and pay the extra money. And you can get them unfinished for, well, they were $30 unfinished and $50 finished. Just go ahead and get them finished and save the headache. They're normally more than close enough to use right as you get them.
but I put them on the test stand, I put them on the balancer and check their balance and pitch gauge and check the pitch. And I know that you can get wood props out there that, gee, even in Christmas, I call them, like I said before, I call them a prop kit. Because you got to do so much to them to make them come in. And I don't get into changing Phillips entry and all that stuff, which is the leading edge of the prop. You can sand the back side of it, or the pilot of the airplane side of it, and increase the pitch by changing the angle of the leading edge of the prop. And
Standing on your head and holding your lips just right.
yeah, or you can sand the trailing edge. If you want to go down in pitch, you can sand the trailing edge of it off and leading trailing edge and change the pitch that way. I'd rather heat them up and pitch them than sand pitch into them. Normally, you only have, if you repitching a prop, 90% of the time, it seems like to me. Now, some people may vary different, but from the halfway point out on each prop blade is what you're pitching. And you really probably only need the last 2 inches of the prop blade just to tweak it a little teeny bit.
I haven't put any dope on this, right?
That beats me. I haven't been paying that close of attention to you. I thought you just did one side of it.
Yeah. I didn't put any dope on this at all.
No, it's dry.
I sanded it.
There's some spots that you missed around here sanding.
Probably.
That you want to get sanded down before you put tissue on it.
I'll get it all.
Make it baby butt smooth.
This wing is probably 2 hours out from cover as far as fixing stuff. Now maybe 3, because I gotta build a wingtip weight box. I really liked it when Tom Morris showed up, because I'd buy $2 wingtip weight box. It's a whole lot. It's worth that easy.
Yeah, but it is worth it having to cut all the pieces. Yeah, somebody was talking about an adjustable tip box forward and aft.
Yeah,
Kenny Stevens. He puts, maybe it was Kenny.
with me, I was telling you about Wendy, how he cuts the end of the tip off.
No, Kenny said he puts a box in that's a long box, not a square box.
Yeah, you can do that.
And then he makes his weight sort of fits tight, and then puts a little piece of ball split in front and behind, and he can move that weight forward and back in that tip weight box. And then I said something to him about, lining up the lead outs through the pivot point of the bell crank to the center of the weight.
Right? That's exactly correct.
And he said, well, I never thought of it like that, but I've been making this long weight box and I'm basically doing the same thing, only not thinking about it.
Right.
I said, well, yeah, it's where in that tip can make a difference. All that stuff should be in a straight line because it wants to pull outwards in a straight line.
I wonder how many times I said that. I was preaching to the choir of them guys for the longest time. Now this. Oh well. Preaching to the choir.
Still gotta wrap that with some Kevlar.
Yeah.
When using these carbon fiber push rods, always remember the grain of that rod runs lengthwise with the rod and it will split. If you don't wrap it or put a piece of aluminum around it or something, glue it on there real good. Kevlar thread is real nice for that. A little bit of CA, wrap it with Kevlar thread and a little bit of CA and you're good to go. Or any kind of good strong thread, carpet thread, button thread. Just like they do for eyes on a fishing rod. I didn't see those things in Jim Lee's supply. They used to make them little bobbin things, or was that Tom Morris?
The clothespin, you mean?
Yeah, the clothespin
He's
deal.
got it. He had them. I'm the guy that originally got him to make them. Did it at
Missed a big
Sig's.
spot.
What?
Missed a big spot.
Right here?
Yeah, it's a L shape. There you go. There you go.
See, what happened was Bob Hunt made a video of Jim Lee. I didn't do this side yet. Okay, I gotta wait for a minute to turn it over. I made a video of Jim Lee with that stupid winder, right? A little clothespin winder. But you made your own.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at SIG 25 years ago. I said, Jim, you got one of them little swirly dudes? No, I don't make those. I said, you don't make those? Why not? He said, well, nobody will buy them. I said, why not? He said, because nobody will buy them. I said, I'll give you $20 for one. He said, you'll pay $20 for that? I said, yeah. So next time I saw him, he had one for me and I gave him $20. So he started making them again. 25 years ago, sitting at SIG. I can remember it like it was yesterday, in front of the hangar.
You can get them from fly tying shops too. They have them too. And they're all metal instead of made out of a clothespin, but they work the same way. Got a little bobbin on them that holds the wire, feeds through the end of them. It's got a little tube that sticks out the end of it. They work good too.
He got his Dremel table saw for $25. That's a great deal, Chris.
That's a heck of a deal. Hit up your local pawn shops though. Don't be afraid to go into one of them because they've got some off the wall stuff in there. They got mics, they got calipers, they got all sorts of neat stuff in there that you can get. Beats the heck out of paying full price for.
Yeah, I go into them all the time. They got Snap-on tools in there too.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how much something from Snap-on costs, don't buy it at a pawn
shop for anything for that matter. Go in there already knowing what they're worth.
The retail value of Snap-on tools.
Some of that stuff it might look pretty good, but it's been dropped or it's been mishandled or abused or whatever, and you don't know the quality of what you're getting because they aren't experts.
That's tough.
I bought a nice little dial indicator from the pawn shop down there for
$45 that would have cost me $250 to buy it out there. It repeated very well and all that stuff, so I checked all that before I would do it and flipped it both, you know, in and out a lot, make sure it was zero the same every time, and you know, it's good enough for my kind of stuff. Make sure it wasn't bent or anything.
Top. It's gotta be this side. Yeah, I got some more sanding to do. These fucking things here fit loose. They fall off.
How did you cut your slots?
With a Dubro cutter.
Really?
Dubro!
You know, I've made 3-piece trailing edges and all that kind of stuff with a gap with 64th inch wood in between 2 pieces of 1/4 inch wood, and left the wood out wherever the hinges went and all that stuff. And
Heavy.
yeah, you just add a lot of glue. Made for a nice trailing edge, nice stiff trailing edge. Gaps were already made in there for the hinges right dead center.
Well, this has carbon fiber in it, so they were hard to cut. Hard to cut.
Yeah, you can see it on there. Iron out their tips.
Yeah. But that'll sure stiffen it up. It won't be going like that.
No, neither will that wing. That wing will stay nice and solid. There's nothing stronger than a foam wing like that, fully sheeted.
Joe's broke right there.
Right at the fuselage side, right at the outside of the fuselage side.
Yeah. Now I've got to fish in a beam here to go span the front here where I cut it out, but should be okay. They're nice and controls are nice and free. Can't turn it over yet. It'll stick on that foam. Almost.
See, these Joe's airplane would have helped to have some eclipses
Yeah.
in there, whether it's out of tissue paper or whatever. You could do it out of tissue paper and then sand in real nice and neat. Start off with a big one, make a little smaller one, and then cover your whole wing, and it all sort of bury. That would take that load and transfer it out here.
I might do that with this. Put, you know what? I always cover that side to here and this side to there so it gets double. But I might put a couple of ovals. I got that big, thick, crappy silk span. The $31 worth of Japanese tissue I bought's going on my next airplane, not on this thing. The $31 beats the crap out of $150.
Yeah. But it's not 30 inches long or 32 inches long, whatever that was. That was an exception to the rule because I've never, ever found silk span that was over,
You mean Jap
or
tissue?
Jap tissue over like 24 inches long.
That was from that Iski guy, free flight guy.
England.
Yeah. Plus I had to pay the ridiculous shipping on it.
And that was all before COVID. I saw a guy received a package in the mail, and I think it was just a pocket knife. And it was in a little package about this big. about 2 inches thick and about 10 inches long and 8 inches wide. It had a bunch of padding in it and had this little pocket knife in there. $20 for shipping on that little package. I'm like, man, so you got the knife for $14.95 and then you paid $20 to have it shipped to you. Something ain't right here.
Pretty neat to have a touchscreen. It's like an iPhone.
Yeah, my little laptops like that. Gotta be careful. You just moving it, you'll make it do something you don't want it to do.
You can see, did I miss any spots here?
There to there, about a half an inch wide. The one right here to here, there you go. There you go. Looks like it. About 3 inches in from the leading edge.
Well, it's drying up now.
And about 6 inches. Right there, you went perfect. Right on top of it. There you go. Now everything looks like it's all uniform.
It's drying up now.
Yeah.
70 ounces.
Can't get by without this glue set. This is your glue for your tissue that you're putting on right now. You're not only getting the fuzzies off the wood, but you're putting down a glue base, a dope for your tissue paper. So this is essential that you get enough on here. We've been skimping.
Yeah.
3 coats and you're putting tissue on. You really should put probably at least 4, bare minimum. Don't keep adding straight dope to this. You can add more thinner to it, but you can't add more dope. So if you start running out, by the time you get your tissue on there and start doping your tissue, all you can add is thinner.
Yeah, but this wasn't a full quart, so I'm gonna need to make some more for the fuselage. You know, about that much more, because
Well, yeah, you got a half of a dose there.
we didn't use this is crap, you know, leftover stuff. Might as well use leftover shit up though, especially on an airplane like this. One that I really don't care about. I mean, I care about it, but
I did one of my Magnums painted with Krylon paint. What a mistake.
crackle, crackle.
Or Rust-Oleum or something like that.
Oh.
But it was a
Wipe
some
it off,
kind
the fuel takes it off.
of student.
I got
It
this.
was just thick. You did that side already.
Yeah.
It was just thick
We're done.
and heavy, you know, because it's an enamel.
We're done.
It looked pretty good. Wasn't no front row finish, but it was a 15 pointer or something like that. But it was just heavy. that was spray can paint.
Duplicolor, but
It'll crack.
you use the lacquer Duplicolor.
That Duplicolor lacquer. I've done a few airplanes like that. And they actually came out a real nice finish.
I painted motorcycle tanks with Duplicolor and it looked fine.
Yeah, but they don't flex.
Yeah.
You know, you put it on an airplane and the lacquer, car lacquer is so brittle that when the airplane flexes, it'll crack and you'll get little spider webs like all through your open bays and stuff. I won't do it so much on solid surface, but on open bays, it'll really do it. But rattle can, I found out the rattle cans, the little rattle cans of Duplicolor had a better spray pattern than the big cans of Duplicolor, the half can size. They had a better spray nozzle and just worked better than the big cans did. I used to spray paint all my RC car bodies with Duplicolor. That's where I found out about the little cans working better.
Okay. Uh-oh.
And sticking things together.
Yeah. That's that side.
Stay pretty straight.
Got it?
Sort of.
And just saying them hinge pockets finish, they're not uniform, so I have to spend some time on that. I just kind of ground them in there and carried on.
So I'd get the flaps on there and mark where the hinges are when the flaps are on there and then fill in little slivers of 16th or something in the excess
What, in the slot?
in the slot.
No, no big deal. Glue. You mean down here in the trailing edge?
Yeah, like where it's wider than
Oh, I don't matter. I'm gonna get glue in there. It'll be covered with paper.
Yeah, my problem is I know it's there.
It don't matter.
It bothers me.
It don't matter. Should never use canopy glue to glue hinges on. No matter what anybody says, that includes the top dogs. Never use canopy glue.
I know you use a lot of 5-minute epoxy, but I go with 15-minute or 30-minute epoxy just because I get some working time.
Well, if I'm going to use 5-minute epoxy, I'll do one at a time. I'll mix
That's
it.
all you can do. You can't do more than one. You'll get all your hinge slots filled and don't have your flap slots filled, and it'll be dry.
Yeah.
And if you're one of them guys that puts in 15 hinges in one flap, you could really run into some problems.
You think? I think I might have this. It's not centered right. Pull the flap that way just a little. Good.
Got about a 1/16 on the end here gap. Need a little more.
Pull a little more.
Okay, there's the
That's
half
good.
of it.
That's good. Okay.
70 ounces.
How much the puppy weigh? It don't feel too bad though. It don't feel too bad.
You look at that wing now.
Yeah, it's a big mama.
It's a big mama.
I don't know what the cord is here. It's probably 10.5.
Tape measure right there. I think that's what they are, 10 or 10.5.
Almost 11. 10 3/4.
10 3/4. Really? You measuring that right?
Yeah. Remember, it goes to here.
Yeah. Huh. 8.5.
I think it's got too much flap on it myself.
Well, that looks about right.
I'm gonna have to sand this 16th off this end. Get that lined up.
Yeah, it's 3 inch and a half.
About 1.25 here.
3 1/4.
1.5.
Inch and a half.
It's a lot of flap. But we'll just do as designed and see how it works. And if I don't like it, I'll take a razor blade at the field and cut the flap off.
Mine flew pretty good. The way it was stock. Mine didn't.
Wait a few more minutes for it to dry and put it in the car and gone. But this is the important part right here. You guys see my airplane?
That's a $50 motor mount right there.
Yeah.
Probably would be. Have you
Yeah.
seen the price of maple?
They wanted $25 for a 24-inch stick at Brodax.
Yeah.
I said, you can keep that. But
With the machine work and the aluminum and all that crap on there, putting it all together, the labor.
if I went to Schaefer's and bought that, it was like $6.
Go to the lumber yard and buy it. Cut it yourself.
For you guys that were interested in how that's laid up, there's a slot, 1/8 slot cut all the way down to here, and then an 1/8 piece cross grain this way between the motor mounts. You can see it right there. And then another piece laminated on top and another piece laminated on the bottom, then covered with 64th ply. This is 2.5 ounces this way, and there's
Yeah, something like that. It's been notched out 1/8 of an inch too. So these are thinner back here by 1/8 inch than they are up here. It allows you to adjust that tank up there a little bit higher if you need to. It doesn't built like that doesn't sacrifice any strength. That's as strong of a motor mount as you'll ever have in there, even though it looks sort of small. But it'll handle a 75 without any problem.
this is how all my airplanes are done.
I mean, that's I mean, most of them are done similar to that with just cross grain wood in them instead of being inset. But with an inset, you know, recessed in each motor mount, you get more surface area.
And it locks it up.
Makes it all inner jigged.
There it is. There's my airplane for 23. Eeyore.
That's the same motor mount that you put in this fuselage, only you cut it apart and
Yeah. Had to remake it because it wasn't right for 60 Super Tiger. It was this here, and I remodeled it for a Super Tiger 60.
yeah, but all you had to do was mill out the center of it and put it in there again.
Well,
There's only about a 1/16 of an inch difference in the width.
I took everything off of it and cleaned out the groove and everything. And
You could have come over here and we could take it a milling bit and just ran down here and ran down there and you'd been done with it.
no, then the case is too wide. The ear lugs would hit the outside.
Airbags hit the outside.
And I'm not milling on the ear lugs.
Why not? Bob Hunt did that. It's not one of the things I like to do either.
23, 26. That's good. Let's see what. Okay. We've been on 3 hours. It's been a productive Sunday at John's. I gotta go. I got shopping to do.
You know, back in the day when Bobby was doing that kind of stuff, you could get engines very readily. You know, I mean, it was common setting it on that post.
No, it ain't.
Just checking you. You could get engines pretty readily, you know, and so he probably had tons of engines back then. But now, in the time when it's sort of hard to get things, I certainly wouldn't be milling on the motor mount lugs.
All right, guys. Join me back at the apartment later on this evening for some, guess what?
Sanding.
All right, guys. Fair winds, tight lines. We'll see you.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. You bet.